And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for being here. Boy, Bryan Broaddus, we take one day off and a whole bunch of news start happening. Now we got a surplus of things to talk about. But we'll see where we at time-wise, though. Appreciate you for tapping in. We appreciate y'all for watching us tonight. Bryan Broaddus said he has something for me, and he seems to be excited about it. So please, lead us off.
I do. And Voch, this is where I want to pick your brain a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Todd Archer, quality beat writer for ESPN, put out some names of 30 visits. I know I'm working on it. I know Jane Slater's working on it. Yep. A lot of people working on this 30 list. But I wanted, of the names we had, I wanted you to tell me where you had these guys on your board.
Bet, let's do it.
You ready?
Sure.
Okay, the first one Archer lists was Ibuka.
I have Emeka Ibuka as a first-round grade on my board behind McMillan and Golden.
You would consider him at 12 then, right?
He might be one of the last kind of 12 dudes because I got it worked out in my stack also. I have Ibuka. I have him as my 9th guy. So, yeah, I would take him at 12, sure.
You would take him at 12. McMillan.
Teteroy McMillan on my big stack is my 5th guy. He's my wide receiver 1, first-round grade.
First-round grade. Luther Burden, Missouri wide receiver.
Luther Burden is also a first-round grade for me, sir. Luther Burden is the 11th overall player on my big stack.
So we're 3 for 3 of players you would take at 12.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Judkins, Ohio State.
I have Quinshawn Judkins, and this is where it gets tricky with running backs because this is really flavor of ice cream territory here.
No question. No question.
I have a 3rd on Judkins, but I can very much so see him as a second-round guy, though.
Okay. If you had your druthers, as they say,
sure,
you would take him in the 3rd round.
If it was up to me, I would take him in the 3rd. Yes, sir.
How about Henderson, Ohio State?
Travion Henderson is in the 2nd round for me after Hampton and Johnson. 44th overall, most likely.
44, so that's 2nd on him.
Yep.
Banks from Texas, the tackle or guard, whichever you prefer.
Brian, tell you what, man, I got a first-round grade on him, but I've been waffling on it a little bit. I got 13 first-round grades, and on my big stack, he's my 13th player. So I kind of got him there, man. But I'm having conversations like, man, do I like Kenny Grant more? Do I like Jahad Campbell more? I'm gonna leave it where it is. But as of now, Kelvin Banks has put enough good tape in the early part of his season, not the end, but the early part of his season, for me to say that he's a 13th overall guy. So he's a first-round grade for me.
So that would be a player you would consider at 12.
I would take him at 12 if we wipe the hell out.
Okay, so I see what you're doing.
Sure.
Alfred Collins, One Technique, Texas.
I got Alfred Collins, Bryan Broaddus, in the 3rd round, but he's a little bit down my 3rd round. My 3rd round tackles are T.J. Sanders, Norman Lott, Wes Phillips, Peebles, and then I got Alfred Collins right there.
So he's more of a 76 guy then, right?
He's a 3rd. Yep. 76 is perfect. Yep.
Okay, Savion Revell from East Carolina, the corner.
I struggle with him because he's a first-round talent.
We all do.
First-round talent, Bryan Broaddus, but I got him in the 2nd round. On my big stack, I got him as my 18th overall player, though.
Okay. You wouldn't consider him at 12 then, right?
Not at 12.
Okay, so you're looking at him at 44 in the 2nd round.
But if he had a clean bill of health, we could talk about it at 12.
No question. No question. Let me ask you this real quick about Revell from East Carolina. Mm-hmm. Would he be a guy that you would consider trading up for in the 2nd round, or would you roll the dice? Would you roll the dice to see if he could get to at 44?
Brian, I think this 2nd and 3rd round is so thick.
Yeah.
The dice rolls are going to be really interesting. The bad part about it is that you only got 13 first-round grades. So some of your 2nd round guys are going to end up in your 1st. Some of your 3rds are going to end up in there. But just like I said, Bryan Broaddus, Kenny Grant, Siobhan Revell, Donovan Jackson could go anywhere in that range. You see what I'm saying? A part of me feels like teams would look at these corners, and there's a lot of corners I got in this range.
Yeah, sure.
That are healthy already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trey Amos is healthy. Some people look at Hairston and be like, okay, Hairston's healthy. AZ Thomas is healthy. Noah Williams, I like him as a second round guy. He's healthy.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll pass on Ravel with the idea, small school, kind of got a knee. It's other corners that's like him in this range. I think I would roll the dice, Brian. I would roll the dice that he make it to 44. And if he makes it to 44, I think you run to the podium and take him.
Is there a running back you would take over him at 44 if you didn't get one, say, at 12?
I would take Omarion Hampton over him at 44. But the only two running backs I have over him is Hampton and Genty on my big stack.
Okay. So you have a first-round grade on Hampton?
Nope. I got a second on Ravel, but I also got a second on Hampton.
On Hampton. So,
yep.
Okay.
They're both high seconds for me. Yep.
High seconds. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you would take, if you took McMillan at 12
mm-hmm.
and it came down to Ravel or Hampton.
I'm taking Hampton.
You're taking Hampton.
Clean bill of health. I'm taking Ravel. How did this first round corner get to the second round for me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's interesting, man, because me personally,
you'll do it.
I take the corner.
Which is what, and Brian, let me just add to your point.
And I think I'm on an island.
No. Watch this, Brian. Because if you get Ravel in the second and you go, all right, Voch, you missed out on Hampton, but I can get you Brashard Smith. I can get you DJ Giddens in the third round. Krosky Merritt.
Yeah. But are your corners in your third round better than your runners?
I think the running backs in every round is going to be better than everybody because that's how good running backs are this year.
Yeah.
But my third round corners are Maxwell Hairston, Melo Dotson, Darian Porter, Strong from VTech. I've got Strong first name.
Yeah.
And Parrish.
Yeah.
Joshua Parrish.
Yeah. I think that they probably would think what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they brought Ravel in for a reason.
But let me be clear, Brian. I hate that they think that way. I hate that they think that way because they thought that way last year and all the damn running backs left.
No.
But
I know. Yeah. Jeff and I had this, Jeff Kavanaugh and I had this on the Trusted Tape podcast.
Yeah.
We were talking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because I asked him the question that I asked you is the depth of this draft at certain positions going to keep them from picking the best guy?
Most likely. Yeah. Hampton was a visit though, Brian.
Yeah.
Hampton was a visit. And you know what I'm saying? Shots out per Foots the King. Foots the King was all over this one, Brian Broaddus. He Hampton posted on his Instagram and Foot showed it on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it.
He was a visit. He was a 30 visit.
Yep, Omarion Hampton.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Right there.
Show the video again. You know where this is? He's just outside the war room.
Yeah. Okay.
He's on the second floor.
Yeah.
And he's right outside of the war room where like Jerry, they have a statue of Jerry's Hall of Fame bust and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's looking out to the field from really right outside the draft room there.
So let's make sure that
Hampton. I got to add Hampton. Got to add Hampton.
So let's make sure that we give a little credit here. Per Foots the King, Brian, bro. Per Foots the King, bro. Omarion Hampton is a 30 visit to the Cowboys, Brian.
Yeah, I like Foots. I don't like Foots. I love Foots. Yeah, I really do.
Foots is definitely a dude, Brian.
All right. Let me if we could just carry on a couple more of these, if you don't mind,
please.
Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M.
I got a third round grade on him, Brian, but I'm by myself in that room though.
Oh no, bro. You and I are both out in the Atlantic Ocean, paddling around, and the sharks are swimming.
At the most, I could deal with like 44th overall would not have.
And I don't always think the same way you do, but man, this one has been. This one was early, and maybe when you tell me we're done looking at guys, I'm going to take every Texas A&M game and say, did I do this guy right?
Your ass gonna fall asleep.
There are people that like this player, and I actually Gavin Dawson today at 105.3 The Fan asked me about the player, and I read in my notes, and there's some really positive stuff, and then there's some needs to work on the pass rush, needs to get on some pass rush moves, needs to, got a good first step, got it, and I'm like, I'm like sitting there like, I feel, I know it's you and I could say we're out there. Our boat got torpedoed, and we're out there in the life raft trying to kind of make it to land. Because we're the only two out there, I think. I don't see anybody else that's doing that one. The third round, I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. All right, how about Tutton from Virginia Tech?
I got Bayshaw Tootin, Brian. I got him in the 4th round, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's a 3rd round guy for somebody.
Okay, so the way they're kind of doing this is, and then Jonah Frazona is the last guy they brought in, or on the list that I have.
Jonah is in the 4th round.
Yeah. All right. So
don't forget our safety too, Brian. Bro. Don't forget our safety from Texas, Andrew Makuba.
Yeah, I got to get him on the.
Tommy Yarish got that one for us.
Yeah, Tommy got all them Texas players.
Yeah, for sure.
Tommy. Okay, so far of that list of guys, it's been all 1, 2s, or 3s, right?
Pretty much.
All 1s, 2s, and 3s. Okay. Do this for me now. Pick it 1, 2, and 3 out of that group of guys. And I put Makuba in there. I have Hampton in there, but do it off that list. Go 12. Go 12, 44, 76 off that list.
I'm going McMillan at 12.
Okay.
I think it would be smart to go Henderson at 44.
Henderson at 44.
Brian, and the pass rush are going to be gone, man. So I guess you would have to take Jonah from Zona in the 3rd round. I wouldn't like it, but Jonah from Zona in the 3rd round. Let's run it. I take that back. I take that back. Can I get out for Collins? If I can get out for Collins in the 3rd round, I would rather take.
I was gonna read name. Okay, is there any thought about taking Makuba? Okay, you're doing what they would do, not what you're doing. What they would do, right? I asked you. Sure. I'd ask you do what they would do.
Yeah.
You did McMillan, Henderson, Collins.
Yep.
Why do I think I would do McMillan? Why would I think that I would do
McMillan, Ravel?
Yeah, McMillan, Ravel, if he got there. Or I would even consider Makuba at 44.
Brian is my problem.
I would consider him at 44. I would do this. McMillan, Makuba, but I've got a 1st round grade on Ravel. So I'd have to go McMillan, Ravel, and I would have to maybe do Junkins in the 3rd.
Makuba is my 19th overall player, Brian.
Yeah, you better take him at 44 then, bro.
That's a luxury pick, though, man. Safety's a luxury.
Oh, what are you doing, man?
We need running backs,
all
Brian.
These years. What are you going to sugar? What are you doing to your board, man? What are you window dressing my board? What are we doing over there? What are we doing?
But you know what, Brian? Let me say this though.
Okay. Where would you have? Okay, if you have Makuba at 19, where do you have Henderson?
I got Travion Henderson at 31. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair, Brian. That's fair. But Brian, so how about this?
I'm asking you. I'm not asking.
I would love to have Makuba here.
They don't care. They don't give a rat's ass about what we think.
Sure.
But and you told me who they would take. McMillan, Henderson, Collins.
Brian, don't you think a big element of drafting is knowing what everybody else think of the player?
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part about Makuba. I don't know if people think he's a 3rd rounder, 4th rounder, 2nd rounder.
Bro, you know what? I'm willing to die on that hill. I'm willing to die on that hill.
Yeah.
I've done this long enough I've done this long enough that if I'm wrong, I battle on to the next draft.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just remember sitting in Philadelphia in 1998 in a war room.
Yeah.
Looking at building our board, me, Mark Ross from the NFL Network, Jay Collum, you know, and Dan Chunk, 4 of us build that board. And there were a lot of guys that was up there. I mean, we took Allen Rossum in the 3rd round, really kind of as a returner, corner, nickel, but more as a returner. And I had people like, "What are you doing?" I had a guy from the Indianapolis Colts tell me I had the worst draft in the history of the National Football League after the draft. He told me that. And then we trade for Hugh Douglas. 4 of the 7 picks we make the Pro Bowl. You know, sometimes what you think and your group think, you know. Yeah. I think people are very, very, very late to Makuba. Yeah. I think you've been on Makuba well in advance, and I think the league agrees with you. And the media scouts are going to act surprised when he gets picked. Yeah. I think you're right about Makuba. Yeah. I think you are. If we were sitting in a room together and you started fighting for Makuba, I'd be right there with you. Yeah. I think you're going to be right about him. I wouldn't worry because you've told me this, and you're absolutely right. What'd I say? Sometimes these teams don't know what the F they're doing drafting.
Yeah, teams suck at drafting, bro, for sure. Teams
suck at teams will suck at drafting. Yeah. Matter of fact, we went through it on Pro Football Focus today. I Krusty's Corner. 5 worst drafting NFL teams since in 2020. Tennessee Titans. I mean, here we go. Yeah. You're talking about 1st round picks and Raiders. You know, some teams suck at drafting. Yeah. I'm always willing to die on that hill, as long as I did the work. Yeah. It's when I don't do the work that I'm not willing to die on the hill. And we're wrong. Shit, we're going to be wrong. Yeah. I mean, we're going to be wrong about some of these guys. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be wrong about Makuba. And I'll put it this way. I don't think you're going to be wrong about Makuba.
Then I'll take Makuba at 44, Brian. I'll take him at 44.
Well, but you would. On your stack, you would.
I would take him at 44.
Cowboys will take.
But they might. But they might take him at 44 too, though. They might take that.
They might think. You know what? We've watched Hooker. We've watched Wilson.
They trying to save some money with them safeties, Brian, for sure. And they got a brand new DB coach. I mean, they got a brand new defense coordinator, man, that may want his kind of safety, that need to have some range, because he's going to be up there by himself most of the time. That ain't Donovan. That ain't Malik. Yeah. And honestly, we've been talking about this, Brian. We talking about safeties. We always were vouching for the young guys. We're like, how we get, how can we get Marquise Bell and Wanya on the field?
Right. I
think there's an opportunity for him, Brian.
Yeah. So for them, McMillan, Henderson, Collins. Yeah. If they rolled out, we went to day 3, and we're on the draft show getting ready the hour before talking about it. Yeah. We're okay with that, aren't we?
Good to go. That's a party. We could do we could do whatever we want day 3 if those are the guys that we walk away with. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Man, I would love to see. I'd love to see if this is the case. I'd love to see McMillan, Ravel, and maybe Junkins.
I take Junkins. I take them all.
Yeah.
There's 3 levels to this. I could either love the pick, I could hate the pick, or I wouldn't have picked that guy, but I understand.
This is how my approach is. That's the whole thing with Will Johnson. People will like, you hate Will Johnson. I don't hate Will Johnson. I just got players above Will Johnson that I would rather have. That's the selfish me right there. Yeah. I do not hate Will Johnson. I have other players above him. Yeah. That's my job as an analyst. Yeah. I could be dead balls wrong about that. Yeah. Or I could be right. I could be absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I did the work.
Yeah.
I did the work.
I don't hate Johnson. I just love Barron. Have you seen him? I just love me some Barron. Bryan Broaddus, we got some players to watch, man. I mean, some players to talk
Thanks
about.
for that, man. I appreciate you doing that.
Ain't no problem, Bryan Broaddus. That was a fantastic exercise, man. I just hope the Cowboys do the right thing. That's all.
Well, I just wanted to see if the names we had, who we would pick out of that group. You know, that's why I could say McMillan, Hampton, Collins.
Yeah.
I'd be good with that if that's in fact how they wanted to pick it.
Michael Williams not on that list yet?
I haven't seen him, and I bet you he might be, but I haven't seen, like I say, we're trying to run down these names. Bobby Belt's working on it. You know, there's a lot of people working on these names because that's, you know, they tend to kind of come from that area.
Yeah.
You know,
got a little time. We got a little time. All right.
Yep.
Bryan, we got an interesting character. We got a fantastic player, I think.
Yeah.
We got I fell asleep watching this kid. And another kid that's an interesting combination of traits that I'll probably put him in the extras, but I'll give him $500,000 at the end of the draft. You know what I'm saying?
You like Wells from Ole Miss, but I bet you watched the South Carolina tape. And that's why you like Wells, number one. You like Allen, number two, because you like he is like running until he hears glass break. He's just kind of all over the place. He's the running back from Syracuse. Tyler Cooper probably didn't fit your eye great, but at 6'6", 318, you kind of like the size. And RJ Oben, you're going to say, let somebody else be a hero.
Well, aren't you something else, Bryan Broaddus? Flip the first two though.
Okay. All right. So Al. Okay.
I love.
I liked watching Allen.
Allen was fun. Wells was also fun.
Yeah. The South Carolina tape a lot better than the Ole Miss tape.
We definitely got to talk about that. Bryan, let's start with RJ Oben because I don't even have I don't have a thing to say. Bryan.
Yeah.
He looked lost and aloof, Bryan. He just didn't. Every time they read him, he didn't make no plays, Bryan. Go ahead, please, Bryan.
There's times where you get, you're doing these players and you get tired and you're like, you're getting to that point, late at night and you're like, okay, I got to watch Oben. Here we go. And I want to give the kid his due because I scouted his dad, Roman Oben, who was a tackle with the Giants. So his father was a good player in the league. This kid transferred from Duke. He's 6'3", he's 251. You can catch him on both sides, the left and the right end. They play in a rotating system, so you got to pay attention to when number 9's on the field. There are snaps where he's laid off the ball, and it hurts his play. He doesn't have elite bend or flexibility. He can't really turn the corner. He has big trouble when he rushes down the middle, which happens to him quite a bit. He'll thrash around, but really get nowhere fast. I think he's a very average athlete. I don't think he plays with much of a burst for the position. I think there's snaps, as you mentioned, where he loses the ball. He gets washed out of the play, where the blockers get into him, and they just kind of move him out of the way. I don't think he changes directions all that quickly. The size, the length, the position is good. He's not going to be a dominant player at all due to his athletic limitations, in my opinion. The lack of lateral quickness and a burst. The effort is really good. The bend and the finish isn't. I said it's hard to project this guy to anything but a backup guy at this moment. They use him in games and stunts, but it's really hard for him to be successful. So he kind of falls into that others category that you like to talk about.
Yeah, Bryan, I don't have much. I don't have much different than what you said, but I just also, just to add something different. I thought his run game awareness was just terrible. You know, if they're pulling towards him, he's running upfield. If they're reading him,
he's trying to keep his shoulder free, and it kind of makes him kind of funny. Yeah, taking on blocks.
If they reading him, he just gets stuck. And that's the worst thing you could do is get stuck. You either want to attack the quarterback at 100% or stay with the running back at 100%. He gets stuck in the middle. So now if you get stuck and you don't chase nothing, that's just a big play either way. It's just I didn't have a great thing to say about Oben, man. So I got him in the extras, Bryan Broaddus. He weighed down there, but
yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Tyler Cooper had an interesting set of traits. I think he has a really nice size to him. You know, really good height. He has good length, but he let guys get kind of close to him. Maybe that's some.
He does.
Maybe
he's
that's
short,
a little bit
short arm guy. He's a short arm guy. Yeah.
You know, maybe that's some coaching he can get, you know, just to kind of get those guys off, you know, off his body a little bit. I didn't think, and look, he's another guard like this, Brian. This line I'm about to read to you. He wasn't particularly strong,
right?
But he always looked to finish. You know what I'm saying?
You got him right.
That's kind of strange, man. You know, he doesn't always get movement there. He's a stalemate guy for the most part. Not a lot of strength there, but he does have tenacity, and he can maintain blocks sometimes, man. You know, he'll drive his feet. You know, I think he's a pretty decent pass blocker from the mental side, like from the gap exchanges. He's good to go. You know, being a help guy, he's fine. If you bull rush him down the middle, he can get high, and power can push him back a little bit. But if he bends his knees, he's straight. He's just a interesting set of skills that probably needs a lot of refinement. But you know, you can look at his ability to finish and his size, and maybe you'll think a backup rotational type guard type dude. But I also got him in the extras, Brian. But he's a much better extra than RJ Oben is.
Yeah, I like what you did there. This kid he was a starter at left guard. He played 6 years for Minnesota. I mean, high academic and high football IQ guy. But he doesn't have particularly good athletic ability, I didn't think. There's snaps where he plays in space and finds himself off balance or leaning on the play, you know, end up on the ground some. He's a tough guy. Because he fights really hard to finish, but the upper body power and the lower body power, that's sometimes that fails him. I watched the Michigan game, and I mean, Graham and Grant, they walked him, you know, but you know, Graham and Grant are guys that are high draft picks in this draft, but that's the kind of guys you're going to play against. You know, you're going to play against guys that are like that. And that was a hard day for him. He was better against USC. He does have trouble with his punch. When his hands miss, he has big problems. You mentioned about getting to his body. He had a holding call that brought back a huge play because hands got all whacked, and the Big Ten officials got him. I don't think he's got very good flexibility. I think his sets, his space play, that kind of affects him. I think the ideal length of having length, I think that's a problem for him. He doesn't have ideal length. I'm with you. I think the best he could be is a backup due to his smarts and experience for the position, and having played both left and right guard for the past 6 seasons. I kind of think that's his smarts and his experience are probably his most redeeming quality. I just don't see a starter in this guy. Yeah. So I have him down where you would have your guys, the others.
Yeah, down in the extras, man. And look, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. That's, you know, we're
he's probably gonna get drafted.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to give him his due when he does.
Yeah. You know? Maybe we should start putting together a little exercise, Brian, just a little quick one. Going over some guys in the extras and just talking about should they be drafted or not, or just would you think that they're draftable or not?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That might be something we'll just do one day. You want to go wide receiver or running back? Because we have some good conversation going regardless.
Let's talk about the runner.
Man, right, boy. LaQuint Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Watched about 5 games of this kid. And now look, at this point, I'm only watching 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
But he just fun. he just fun, Bryan Broaddus. He's 6 foot, but he look tall as hell, don't he? Don't he look a little taller?
Well, let me tell you what he is.
Please.
And this is for our folks, and I'm sure you've heard this before. In watching scouting terms, we would call him high cut.
High cut, yeah.
and high cut means long legs, short upper body. So, you just think where he's cut is because the short body, it's higher, and then the legs look a lot longer. There was a guy that he reminded me of from way back in the day, and I don't even know if you'll remember this guy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You remember a guy named Robert Smith that played with the Minnesota Vikings, Ohio State?
No, I don't know.
You don't remember Robert Smith?
No, I remember.
If you're an older guy or gal that's watching this, and maybe you look up who Robert Smith was. He was an Ohio State running back. When I was in Green Bay, and I was in Green Bay a long time ago. I was in Green Bay from 92 through 96. So that's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Smith played for the Vikings, and he was this guy that was he was a high cut guy, really really short upper body, but all legs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where when I said it, I'm thinking Fox is not going to know who Robert Smith is.
Yeah, no.
But like Robert Smith played a lot of toughness.
Yeah.
Go ahead and describe this guy, because I think you're going to have him right. I think you're going to exactly have him right.
Well, he's high cut, Brian.
Okay, he's high cut.
Runs with patience and vision. And what I liked about him, he didn't have useless cuts. He didn't have cuts on accident, right? All of his cuts seem to have a purpose behind it. He'll either make a cut if he sees something, or he'll make a cut if he's setting up defenders at the next level. Bryan Broaddus. I didn't think he was particularly fast, but I did think that he had some big playability to him. Like, he'll break out and get caught, but he broke out for the 15. Whether you caught him or not, he broke out for it. I thought he had a good bit of contact balance, and that may come with being high cut, Bryan Broaddus. If you try to latch on to him, you just kind of slip off him a little bit, Brian. Let's see. Wait, lost my nose. Come on back. All right, here we go. I thought he really put the satin on the panties as a pass catcher. Yeah, I think he's ridiculous as a pass catcher. Like I said, I watched 5 games. Like, I've seen him make game-winning catches in the flats, catching the football. I've seen him lined up wide, and and look, not just running backs running a swing and catching the ball, or running a curl.
He's like a real wide receiver out there.
He running routes, Bryan Broaddus.
Yeah.
And look, he catch the ball, hands, body. Catches it away from his body, Brian. Then he goes in, he beats a yak guy after the catch. I thought he had a great feel for how to block and who to block and where to block that person. Hey, just a little tweak into that and he'll be good to go. Brian, I thought this dude was a 3-down back. I love the use of his hands. I love the big playability. I love how much they just gave the ball to him. You know what I'm saying? They just trusted him with the football. He had a lot of catches. I looked it up in his game log.
60, was it 67?
They threw the ball to him, Brian, right?
Yeah, I think it's 67, 60. I think it's 67 catches.
6-7 catches is more than Antoine Wells got in damn Ole Miss. Brian, I'm looking at Allen. I got him in the 4th, man. I got him in the 4th round, Brian.
Yeah, I'll talk about just a second. I'm going to talk about that stack of that 4th, and we'll see how much you really, really like this guy.
It's getting tight right around that little 4. I know, 4 or 5 there. Yeah, go ahead.
It's getting really tight.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this though. This is where I disagree with you.
Please.
I don't think he is a patient runner.
Okay.
I think he gets the ball, and I mean, I said this is my line. I go, interesting running back. There's some violence to his running style.
That's true.
He doesn't make decisive cuts, but chooses just to run through the middle of the defense, banging off anything that's in his way.
Okay.
He plays with an extreme amount of toughness for the position. In the scouting world, I mentioned it's high cut. I brought up the Robert Smith. You know that. Look up Robert Smith. You'll appreciate it one day for me. He was an Ohio State back. He plays with acceleration of burst. I think he hits the hole in a hurry. I said, I don't think he's a patient runner. I think he's got good straight ahead speed. He's not really interested in reading or following blocks. He just wants to get north and south as fast as he can. And he does a really nice job of finishing runs, especially tough when around the goal line. He's a seek contact runner.
That's true.
I mean, he's like looking to hit you as he's running. You mentioned this. He is an outstanding pass catcher. One of his best traits is he's catching the ball in the backfield. You can put him wide, let him work for their effort as good as a pass protector. He's a willing, tough guy in this area. he's got some value as a third down back. And if he's the all-time leading receiver for running backs at Syracuse. He's got 119 catches for 848 yards. They're wide receivers in college.
Yeah.
They would love to have those numbers.
Yeah.
With all the contact, he's only put the ball on the ground one time, and that's in 228 rushing attempts. I said this, not sure he'll survive all the contact he seeks in the NFL, but we should never question his toughness.
Right.
I'm with you on this kid. I am totally with you on this kid in the 4th round. Right. And I was trying to kind of think where in the 4th, where with your guys and stuff like that, where does he fit with those 4th round names?
Man, Brian, I try not to get too excited about the last guy I watch. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I try not to be prisoner of the moment.
Uh-huh.
Right now, how I got it stacked in the 4th round. These are my 4th round names, and I'm running out of space in my 4th round.
Yeah, you just got to add a line. You got to go to the far left.
Yeah.
And add a row is what you do.
I got and I might change this up. Just thinking about it. James Blue Hunter.
Yeah.
Damian Martinez. Tootin.
Yeah.
Tootin. And then I got Trevor Etienne, and then I got Allen right behind him. But under him, I got Neal, Mullins, Yarn, Scatterbo, Brooks, Monangai.
Yeah. I think that Allen is, to me, like, I'm like in the 4th, I'm an ATN Neal guy.
Yeah.
And then now I've got to figure out, like I say, I got Allen, Giddings, Brooks, Martinez, Smith, those guys.
Where you got James?
I've got James. I moved James up the bottom of the 3rd.
I might like this dude a little more than James Brown. I don't know.
I was thinking because he does so much. Yeah. I mean, he really his run. I don't know if he's going to survive. I don't know if he's going to survive. But I got James and Tootin, those guys, kind of in the bottom of the 3rd. ATN, I probably have he's probably going to go 3rd. I was talking with Dane Berger about this. So every team is going to have this list differently.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. Okay. You really like Krosky Merritt, right? From
Arizona
and New
Mexico.
Okay.
I'm in 3rd round.
Okay. I'm in 3rd round. You put this guy in the 4th, right? You put Allen in the 4th.
Yep.
Man, it sounds like to me you like Allen better than Krosky Merritt.
Krosky Merritt a better runner. And Krosky Merritt also does things as a pass catcher. Now, Allen gets a lot of points as pass catching guy.
Yeah.
Like we talking about like Kamara level passing guy, like passing game guy.
60, the guy like Syracuse,
he gets busy.
19 passes for his career.
He gets busy. I may like him more than some of these guys in the 4th, but I've been very stingy with those 3rd round grades.
Yeah, I see what you're doing because I know what you're doing.
I'm bunching up all the pass catches, and I'm bunching up the big play guys. And if you ain't fast, okay, what I'm doing?
You're trying to think about this team that you cover.
Oh no.
And they don't have a 4th round pick.
No. I tell you what,
they don't. And you're thinking, I want the best running back I could draft at 76, and that's why you're being stingy.
Well, I like all the guys in the 4th round too, Brian.
I'm the same way. But
yeah.
If it comes down to they don't take a runner at 44, they don't take one at 12, they don't take one at 44. Now we're going to start thinking, and and you said it earlier in the show.
Yeah.
When Kyle Yeomans is going to ask Voch, who's your best player? Yeah. You're going to read 5 running backs.
Well, I'll tell you why. So, like, James is not a bursty guy. Blue is a fumbly guy. Tootin is a fumbly guy. Trevor Etienne, he's a good player, but he ain't got it all together to be like a by himself runner. Just in my personal opinion. Hunter, big play, kind of needs to be rotated with another guy. Martinez is a thumper, but he may not be all that fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I may need to move Allen up my 4th round list.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Yeah.
But at least I think these 3rd round guys, I think they're the last of the dudes that can run by themselves.
I like what you did.
That's what I'm thinking.
What you did.
So I may have to move Allen. I think passing is so important in the league with these running backs now. Please go ahead.
With no 4th round pick, they might be thinking the same damn thing we are right now. That we've got to put running backs in position to be ready to take them at 76.
At 76, yeah.
Because if we don't have a 4th, man, we are sitting this thing out.
That's a long wait.
That's a long wait.
Yeah. 76 to 149. It's a long pick.
Yeah.
A long wait.
They're gonna get a running back at 44, aren't they?
I would hope so. I would hope that they get it out the way early.
Yeah.
I would hope that we don't go into day 3 with no running back. I would hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would too. Even though I've got a list of guys. But man, I mean, as they start going off the board, I'm gonna and Dallas ain't picking, I'm gonna go, okay, here we go, you know.
But man, Brian, but still, I just say what a phenomenal year for running backs though.
You and I might not ever see this one again. I mean, might not ever see this one again like that. It's impressive.
I'll take them all.
But for all the folks out there that wanted us to look at the Quentin Allen,
that was right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Antoine Wells will get somebody a raise or get somebody fired, won't he, Bryan Broaddus?
Yeah, he will. You gotta go find him in a couple of spots, you know.
He transferred twice, didn't he, Brian?
He he had grade problems, and he went to a school.
James Madison, I believe.
Yeah, he started his career at James Madison. You're right, but when coming out of high school, he had bad grades, so he had to go to like Virginia Military.
Oh damn!
And then Virginia Military it's one of these. He went to a military school, and then he went to James Madison, and then he went to South Carolina, and then he went to Ole Miss. So yes, he's kind of been all over the place.
Brian, you know, some of these names you just see a lot. People just talk about these names. Antoine Wells was a Shrine Bowl guy.
Does he go by Juice?
He goes by Juice Wells. So cool. We can call him Juice. But me and Woodchuck seen him at the Shrine Bowls. I was like, all right, cool. Man, he's made some plays here.
6'1", by the way.
I looked at his game log, and his 2024 and his 23 wasn't hitting on nothing.
He got hurt.
Okay, so he got hurt. But I did watch the 26 passes that he caught in 2024. And Brian, it felt like that year where Pickens was coming out. We only got 4 games of him.
Yeah.
And he got 3 catches apiece. And you got to figure it out, right? But I was just watching. But I went further back in his game log, and I normally don't go too far back. Like if you're a 5-year player, I ain't going back to 2021. You know what I mean? But I went back and I saw he had 1,000 yards, like a big yard season. I said, well, what the hell going on? It was South Carolina. Spencer Rattler was throwing the ball. I was like, all right, let's see what's going on here. And now I'm like, what the hell was going on at Ole Miss that they couldn't do this shit here at Ole Miss? But I guess the same thing that we say about Trey Harris, though, Brian. We felt like that offense was kind of holding him back a little bit. So, damn, Juice Wells, Bryan Broaddus. I wouldn't call him a refined wide receiver, but he's athletic as all get out. He's all talent, skill, and athleticism, Brian. I think he's another big play guy that's not necessarily fast, but he makes the big plays. I think he finds a way to get open. I think he high points the ball. I think he makes tough catches. He'll drop some passes, but I think he makes tough catches. Those guys are weird that miss the layups, but they catch the ridiculous ones. I thought he was a really interesting yak guy when he caught the football. Teams didn't really bring him down that easy. You know what I'm saying? He kind of dragged some people behind him a little bit. I didn't think he was a particularly good route runner, but he ran a lot of routes. You know what I'm saying? Like he would go across the field, he would run outside the numbers, he would go short medium, deep, and I was like, all right, cool. You're effective everywhere. Maybe with some coaching, you could just work on your route running, and you'll be good to go there. I don't want to say that I saw some effort from him sometimes, some weird effort from him sometimes, but when he was involved in a play, he was good to go. But he was much better at South Carolina than he is at Ole Miss. So maybe we need to figure out, was he having problems with the coaches? They just wasn't getting him involved or anything like that, a targeting issue. But if you just go back and watch that film, and he'll show spurts of it at Ole Miss, whether it be jumping over somebody, making a tough catch, like red zone. I bet he'll be a really good red zone threat, just finding them and just letting them jump and just catch the ball. You know what I mean? So, Bryan, I ain't want to overreact to this, you know what I'm saying? But I did like his old tape a lot more. I got him in the bottom of the fourth. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of teams are going to have him in the fifth because it's something else going on that we just don't know because we just got film.
The fourth, he ran 4.58 at the combine.
He wasn't very fast for sure.
But that's I think people might dock him a little bit because of that, but you're not wrong about the tape, and especially the South Carolina.
One last thing, please. So I was gonna put him in the fifth round, but I thought he fit in with Kobe Hudson, and I thought he fit in with Pat Bryant.
There you go. You're stacking him with the players he's like.
So I'm putting him in that group with them. He's a bottom of the fourth round for me, Bryan. Please, now go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. No, I thought that was a good assessment of this player. You're right. He started his career at James Madison. He was a record-breaking receiver at one season at James Madison. Then he went to South Carolina. He was great in 2022. You mentioned that. He had a foot injury in 2023 that killed that year. He moved to Ole Miss the offseason after that. And unfortunately, Ole Miss, it wasn't even close. I mean, the Ole Miss tape looked nothing like what the South Carolina tape looked like. He does have good size. He's 6'1", he's 201, but he lacks speed and he lacks quickness. He's got really good playing strength, though. He can run through tacklers. He catches the ball well. His best routes are the slant and the hitch. Those are the ones that he really excels at. But man, he catches the ball well. He has the ability to make circus catches. He does a lot of jumping. I mean, he'll come off his feet, whether he kind of has to or not to make catches, but he catches the ball. I thought his concentration was good. I thought he knew how to work back to the ball, put himself in position to make plays. The body control, the balance, I thought was really, really good. He could adjust along the sidelines or in the back of the end zone to make a play. He showed the ability to make those chunk yards plays despite his lack of speed. Yeah. This guy averaged 17, almost 18 yards a catch this season. That was best in the country. Yeah. He didn't have that many targets.
And they stopped throwing the ball to him. They just
18 yards, 17.8 yards per reception. And he's like I say, he catches the ball on the move. You mentioned about that, the slants, the crossing stuff, those things inside. This kid can't run out of sight, but somehow he makes big plays. I think teams are going to dock him because of the 4.58 speed. So he might end up in the fifth round when it's all said and done. If he were just to run, say 4.50 or 4.49, this guy might even be considered a second round player, the way he catches the football. So I'm with you on where he is with all the players, other players he's with. But if you want a guy that will be tough, catching the ball, run the slants, run the inside breaking routes, play well in the red zone. Kind of like in the red zone, it's a little bit shorter area. This guy knows how to kind of find space. He knows how to catch the ball when it's a contested situation. Yeah. So I think Juice Wells, people will be turned off by the 4.58 time. They just will be. Player though. He's a good player though.
Do you think that would give a team an opportunity to possibly take him in the fifth, or do you think they should take him based on?
I think he's good. I think they're going to take him in the fifth because of the speed. Yeah. I think they're going to take him in the fifth. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this fourth round grade on him because I think he fits in with those guys a little bit and just dock him around.
I don't like I say there's times where I feel like if the guy's slower,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a round lower than where they actually get taken.
Sure.
But I think people are going to look at that 4.58. They're going to say, well, this is his time. But then there's going to say somebody like, but the son of a gun averaged 18 yards a catch.
Yeah.
He is for his career, he averaged almost 17 yards a catch.
Mm-hmm.
When you tally up South Carolina and then also the work that he was able to do at Ole Miss.
Sure. Yeah. Brian, we gotta dig through 2 or 3, weird ones to get to a couple we like. Out of this 10 though, Brian, just looking at the guys, I was really impressed with Gatson this week. I was really impressed with Pohl, the tackle from Washington State, just how he moved and his size and all that.
For not playing very much, basically, he started playing football in 2021.
Yeah. Longer beam, we're gonna add him to that nickel corner group. Guys that we like.
Yeah, at 174 pounds.
Yeah.
That's kind of where he's at. Tough kid though.
Yep. Juice Wells and our pass catching running back LaQuint Allen. I think this was a pretty good group. We got about 5 or 6 guys out of 10 that was really good, and I think that's a good ratio at this point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Dallas Day list and I'm gonna see what the rest of these 30s are looking like. And I got a list of names here, and I'm gonna curate us another 10 that'll give us another week of guys to look at. But we about to wrap this up soon, Brian. We
are. Like I say, I gotta get my stack together. Once I get my stack together, I'll get you my board and all that. And like I say, I'll have my stuff posted on 105.3 The Fan for people that do that. But I also want to make sure that you have the stuff as well, so you can put it, on we're doing all right, the channel we have.
So Brian, we watched Shamar Stewart. Did we watch Turner?
Yeah,
I didn't watch Turner.
I've got Turner done.
Okay,
I have Turner done. But if you want to talk about him, I'm almost positive that, like I say, I wrote a report on him, and that might have been, I might have done Turner before you and I started doing before we started doing the combination work together.
Okay.
Or started talking about guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, Turner, the edge. Wait, Turner
from
Turner,
Texas A&M.
Yeah. Texas A&M. Okay, wait, hang on. I thought I did him. I thought I looked him up the other day.
Because there's another one.
Wait a minute.
Stewart and Turner. 2 Shamars on that team.
Okay, we did not do Turner.
Okay.
Or I haven't done Turner.
I haven't either.
I thought I had.
Okay.
I thought I had. No, we need to add him.
Need to add him. He's a name that's kind of floating around a little bit, and the Cowboys talk to him, so we'll just see. What I did was, Brian, I just went to different groups to see like different types of running backs. We've knocked running backs out. Like now I'm like, what are Cowboys looking for? And I think the Cowboys are going to be looking at tackle, even if it could be late. So I just pulled some names together, and I saw Turner down there. Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. People were asking me about Vernon Broughton from Texas.
I never even heard that name. I don't even know that.
Yeah, Vernon Broughton. Broughton.
That's a one tech.
He's 6'5". He's 306.
I'm really trying to look at one techs. I don't think we're gonna be looking at three.
Okay. Then don't look. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there's a kid. I think it's Yahya Black from Iowa.
So he's not on PFF's list. So I don't know how far down he is, but I have heard his name.
6'6", 337.
I got him written down. Kyle mentioned him. These are the tackles I got left over. Cam Horsley, Boston College. Tim Smith from Bama. We might not get to him. Here's a big name. Simeon Barrow from Miami. He's kind of up there on some of these lists, so we need to look at him for sure. Zeke Biggers from Georgia Tech. There's a kid from Louisville, Thor Griffin, that we might not get to. Tyrion Ingram Dawkins from Georgia. I've seen his name before, so we should probably get to him. And Cam Jackson from Florida. I've seen his name a lot.
Yeah, Cam Jackson was one that people were asking me about too.
So look, we're not gonna catch everybody, Bryan Broaddus, but we will curate this list, and we'll definitely have a good list of guys out. Some other names we'll be looking at next week is possibly Ty Felton, the wide receiver from Maryland. Rocket Sanders from Arkansas. He's another name. There's still names that we know that we just haven't formally gone over yet. So we got another week or so of film, and I'm gonna put it all together, and we'll do it. Bryan Broaddus, fantastic episode, sir. Phenomenal.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. I threw you a curveball, jumped right off the start, but you knocked it out of the park. So I appreciate you doing that.
It's Voch Lombardi, man. Come on, man. What you mean? VOCHLOMBARDI at BRYN Broaddus. Y'all be sure to tap in with us. And we'll catch y'all Monday. We love y'all two pieces. I'm on both draft shows next week, so y'all ass better come watch it. All right. Crown.